Right boys, so I'm making this video because I feel like the journey I've been on over the last year or so, or the last couple of years I should say, is actually going to resonate with a lot of you guys because I'm 23 years old and I used to work at Amazon in the warehouse night shifts, you know, one of them places where you just put your high vis on, you put your safety shoes on, you go, you do the work necessary, and then you'd come home, you know, standard stuff. But it was also one of those places where you'd walk in and your soul would just leave your body, like just the environment and the people, you know, just everything just doesn't kind of align with what you want and what you kind of follow. And yeah, it's like my life at that point was quite literally working, then I'd go home, maybe I'd hit the gym, you know, a couple times a week, maybe, but I was mainly focused on getting home so I could turn on my computer and play those video games because yeah, I was not only obsessed, I had no purpose. There was nothing else for me to actually do at that time in my head. Now, of course, there's loads of things that you can actually do, but at that point, I was just at an all-time low. Without knowing, I was at an all-time low. But yeah, it was one of those moments where I kind of walked past the mirror. I just saw how I looked. I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but I saw how I looked, and I was not only ashamed, I was like, how has it come this far? So I literally stood there and looked in the mirror for a solid minute, just, you know, questioning myself, like, how the hell have I done this? Why do I look like this? You know, like, why am I skinny? Why do I have spots everywhere? Like, what's going on? And I remember I saw a TikTok and it was like, on the average salary, you know, it would take around 60 plus years to actually, you know, be able to afford a McLaren or, you know, a Lamborghini, something like that. And that's when it kind of clicked for me, and I was like, you know, there has to be something else out here. There has to be more to it than just me working for the next 50 years to get a pension, you know, that barely pays the bills. And that was definitely the turning point when I realized that I'm not a kid anymore. This is my life and no one's going to sort this for me. You know, I stopped waiting around for things to change and I just started figuring things out. I started hitting the gym consistently, reading, journaling, meditating, all of these kind of things. The most important thing was definitely cutting out distractions. And you know, I deleted all my games. I sold my PlayStation. I deleted TikTok. Just anything that would class as a distraction, I got rid of because I knew it wouldn't help me out. But I realized that I'm doing all these good things, but I'm still financially in the same place. And that's when I started to come across, you know, side hustles, all of these things, but I was super skeptical. It took me a while to actually get into anything because I'd just do so much research on it and I'd still see it as skeptical. But I found something called appointment setting. And yeah, I mean, it kind of stood out because it was just sales. You know, it's like, I know how to hold a conversation and I know how to work hard. So I just went for it, learned the skill. I started sending the DMs on Instagram, because that's quite literally all it is. You send DMs on Instagram and you make sales. And yeah, I started getting, you know, 50 quid here and there. I got like maybe 100 something quid in my first month and I was like, okay, you know, like this actually works. It was nothing glamorous, of course, 50 quid, 100 quid. It doesn't really pay the bills, but it's kind of proof that people are paying me for my time now and they're paying me for my skills, instead of just getting, you know, a 9 to 5. And although it wasn't, you know, anything flashy, I wasn't flexing Rolexes or buying any first class flights, but it was proof that I could work from my laptop, control my day, you know, I could go to gym whenever I wanted. And that freedom meant everything to me. The fact that I can now lay out my day as I want, instead of having a 10-hour shift in the middle of it that I can't control. And now I'm actually building a life that actually feels good to wake up to. I live by my own rules. Obviously, I'm not perfect by any means. I've still got loads to go, but I wake up on a mission now. There's a reason for why I'm waking up and I'm doing all of this work. I'm getting stronger mentally and physically. And I'm definitely moving in the right direction. I'm saying all of this because if you're in the same place that I was, you know, stuck, broke, lost, just kind of coasting through your 20s, I want you to know that you're not the only one, but there's also no one coming to drag you out of it. You know, that's completely on you. There's no magic trick. You quite literally just need to decide that you're done living like a passenger and you actually need to take control You know, go pick a skill, go pick some new hobbies, some habits, and just go all in on them. See what happens. The worst thing that can actually happen is you fail whatever you try, you go back to square one, which is just your normal life again. Nothing has changed. And that's the worst case scenario. And you have to make this about, not about the money, but you have to make it about, you know, your why reason, like why you're doing this, and to actually get your freedom back. Like my why reason is I want a family in the countryside. I want to have land. I want to have, you know, animals. I want to farm stuff. I want to live from the land because, yeah, I'm not a fan of big cities. I'm not a fan of, you know, all the food having chemicals in, but that's a story for another day. And I just want to live free, which is why I'm doing stuff like this, and I'm working on myself mentally, spiritually, and physically, because these are all things that are super important, and it's things that you don't really get taught in school. Like straight after school, you quite literally just get dropped off, and it's like, go find a job now, you know, go work for someone else for the rest of your life. And yeah, that's definitely not what you want to do. Nobody wants to be working a job for the rest of their life, but they just accept that, you know, that is life. But yeah, I mean, this whole video was just kind of introduction to me and a little bit about my values. Of course, there's going to be a lot more videos to come, and I will definitely get better at making these videos in the future. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your day.